Let's begin indeed. Hello people, Sue Jerry speaking. Welcome to TheCrazyBunch's WebShow, episode number 102. Now before we begin this episode of TheCrazyBunch's WebShow, we're originally supposed to be doing this yesterday, but instead I have to talk about this one topic we're going to discuss about Pope Francis. And we'll discuss that later on. But it just had to be said earlier today. But it was the head of Roman Catholic Church and surgery in Valley City State from March 13, 2013 until his death in 2025. We'll look back at his life and legacy sometime later in the program. But first, we'll have not one, not two, but 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dev topics, and we'll have about 2 more topics related to Easter and the 420. So let's talk about right now, shall we? So we got for us. The first dev topic has Ernest Volkmann, born Ernest Wyman Yolkman, pronounce his last name. Anyway, he was an American author, insurgent reporter, and journalist who wrote about war, espionage, and the criminal underworld. Volkmann was a 1959 graduate of Walt Whitman High School in South Huntington, New York, and attended Harvard University. A U.S. Army veteran, Volkmann was also a military intelligence specialist and wrote many books on the subject of spies and spying. At the time of his death, on April 11, 2025, he was 84 years old. Volkmann lived together with his wife Beverly. He had 2 adult children, son Eric and daughter Michelle. The next dev topic has with Jennifer Tove. Born Jennifer Nolan Tove, he was an American journalist, writer. She was oh my god. She was She was known for her published studies of homeless people and orphans. She was born in London to American parents Robert and Paula Tove on August 15th, 1967. Her father was a national security correspondent for the Los Angeles Times, and later senior associate in Poe Research Center, something like that. Anyway, while her mother was a lawyer and special voyage for the state of Maryland. Tove grew up in Moscow, where her father was a reporter for 3 years in Cherry Lake Chase, Maryland. She received her undergraduate degree in history from Washington University, St. Louis in 1989. For graduating from Columbia University with an MA degree in journalism in 1990. From 1990 to 1992, she was working as a journalist from the Los Angeles Times in Washington, D.C. and New York, respectively. And afterward from the Raleigh News and Observer from 1992 to 1995, year I was born. After which she quit for focus on her book projects. The Mole Project first talked about its development stages when in 1993 she published her first study entitled The Mole People Driving Them Toes Beneath New York City. Anyways, featuring interviews with some dwellers in the Freedom Tunnels. Her wife was friend with one of the mole people who she befriended, by the way, which was she witnessed him killing addicts like that. She aggressively fled New York City to live with her parents in Cherry Lake Chase, Maryland. The book was published by Chicago's Review Press, became a worldwide bestseller, translated into Japanese, German, Italian, Spanish, and Turkish. Wow. Jim Dwyer, something like that. The author of Subway Lives presented an influential review of The Mole People for the Washington Post on October 25th, 1993, stated this. The Dwyer stories are overshadowed by the far simpler and far more touchy portraits towards presents of injured people struggling with dynasty and tenderness, something like that. Dwyer wrote, something like that. Anyway, having aiming high, having some stroke beneath New York, with a can of mace from her father, with his heart and head ready to listen, something like that. She had brought back in books and stories that no one else has told. A book that is highest and above all, loving the people who are nobody's friend. We shall all do so well. Well, okay. Cecil Adams, the straight dope, a widely question and answer column, devoted 2 columns in more people dispute. The first published on January 9th, 2004. The content we're told that large amount of unfavorably from that in top stories, while declaring the book's accounts seem to be truthful. The second, published on March 9th, 2004, and the content with Joseph Brand was more credible. Wow. Did I mention the oh man, hang on, let me see. Individuals and locations described as remote people has been repeatedly cataloged in the variety of other media. Something like that. For photographer, something like that. Margaret Morans, the Toll, Yale University Press 95, to New York Times, The Jerry Springer Show, which featured one of the main characters, Bernard Isaacs, self-portrayed Lord of the Tunnels, writer of the Foster Care. 1997, 12 published Orbit of the Living's Stories of America's Children of Foster Care, something like that. A book narrated a life of stories of 5 young adults from North Carolina, California, and Illinois who overcome heavy odds to survive their childhood in foster care. Publishers Weekly called it an equine and ongoing study. An excellent publisher of a system that hurts those it charged to help. In 2002, 12 released another narrative about a young man, what happened to Johnny Jordan. Anyways, the story of a child's story, Violet. Wow. They once again addressed foster care and Johnny services. This time in Tallahassee, Ohio. It's a recent interview, New Yorker wrote, in the account of dysfunctional families. Children are often the victims of violence here. Anyway, a child is both victim and perpetrator. The child's question is Johnny Jordan, a 50-year-old Ohioan. It was abruptly murdered and his foster mother in 1996, hacking her own death, hacking to death, something like that, with a hatchet and from setting her on fire. Through the series of interviews with Jordan, her foster father, and others within the child welfare system, Thomas shows an agonizing portrait of the boy who was repeatedly abused with a very young age, repeatedly failed by the system responsible for protecting him. Tom married Craig Whitlock, with someone like that, a journalist and naval security correspondent with the Washington Post, 96. From 2004 to 2010, couple lived in Berlin, where Whitlock was stationed from work. She had 1 child. She died on April 12, 2025. She was 57 years old in Silver Spring, Maryland, with respiratory complications. Anyways, the next step topic has to do with Jed the Fish, born Edward Jed Fish Gold III. He was known for radio listeners as Jed the Fish, was radio disc jockey who was an afternoon drive at KROQ FM in Los Angeles from 1978 to 2012, something like that. He reviewed other ads such as Brian Eno, David Bowie, Sting, and Elvis Costello, something like that. Nerd support of New Wave and other bands. Jed the Fish is reported to have been the first U.S. DJ to play Hispanic mode during Duran and Pretenders, and thus having to help KROQ establish itself as a federal radio station in the 1980s and 1990s. He was born July 15, 1955, in Orange County, California. He grew up in Cali's beach cities and Crazy, Arizona. He began his radio broadcasting career while he became a student at Gassip Grade High School. He earned his first class radio telephone operator license in 1971 at the age of 16. Programming hosting a radio program targeted for the youth market on KP AM, something like that. Anyway, from 1994 to July 2013, Jay hosted a nationally syndicated show Out of Order. Out of Order is 2 hours long, syndicated by Good Day Global. From July 12 2018, Jay the Fish was also aired near personality at radio station KCSS, something like that. With programming his own show. In 2018, he became a DJ with Los Angeles LOS. In 2019, in February, Jellyfish joined the Rock of the A's lineup with KROQ HD2 station on radio.com, now Oshery.com, on Sundays from 6 p.m. to midnight, Pacific Daylight Standard Time. In addition to his hour work, Jellyfish produced a Southern California punk band El Crazulo's debut album 95, and the year I was born anyway, and the radio remix track Fame on Omega Ray Chen's Junkie and Shakes in 2000. His work goes like this. In 97 and 99, Jay was awarded the Billboard Barn Rock Personality of the Year Award. In 98, Jay received an award for Radio Records local Barn Rock Personality of the Year. Jed the Fish was awarded Billboard's Major Market Alternative Radio Personality of the Year of 98 2000. In 99, he co-workers Kevin B and Bean received the same award. He won the Albums Network's Alternative All Stars Award for Virtuality Alternative Radio Personality in 1999 to 2000. In 2004, he tied for 8 plays along with former. Oh no, I was not talking about that. Anyway, 102.7 KISS FM DJ Rick Dees. I was talking about that anyway. As one of the LA radio's top 10 most influential radio people, described as influentially inventive, the best per disc jockey in Los Angeles. His personal life, okay? In 94, Jed the Fish purchased 1894 Queen Anne Virgin Estate Home, Pasture, California. Next year was featured in Lucille Ball's 1968 film Yours, Mine's, and Ours. Your Mine's and Ours, like that. Not to be confused with the 2005 film Your Mine's and Ours. Anyway, because I grew up with that film. But anyway, Jed the Fish was graduated at USC's Annenberg School of Journalism with a Bachelor of Arts degree broadcast journalism in 1978, something like that. He's also a drummer sitting on drums with John Barlow, something like that. During the KROQ Witty Rose, performing the System of Down in 2002. He died of lung cancer on April 14, 2025 at his home Pasadena, California. He was 69 years old. And his other media goes like this, okay? He's shown the cover of Real Big Fish's album, Turn the Radio Off. He also appears himself in the game show Win, Lose, or Draw, KRTVH versus KROQ in 1988. He also appears radio announcer in the film Night Angel of 1990. He also is same as himself in 1984 Surf 2, and in 2003 documentary Major the Sunship Strip about Rodney Bangenheimer. My next step topic is very important. I want to talk about this in May 2025, and it's part of our LJP CBM TV special event coming up very, very soon. And it has to do with Wade Martindale. Born Winston Conrad Wade Martindale. He was a American disc jockey, radio personality, game show host, and television producer. He was one of the best known for hosting Gambit from 1972 to 1986, and again from 1980 to 1981. I'm not a huge fan of this. Tic-tac-toe, except for the bonus round, but anyway. From 1978 to 1985, High Rollers from 1987 to 1988, Tic-tac-toe is more like it. But anyway, and that from 1996 to 1998. He was born in Jackson, Tennessee on December 4th, 1933. But anyway, for the third 4 sons, his mother was Frances May Nee Mitchell, was a housewife, and his father James Ezzie Martindale was a lumber inspector, later worked with Life magazine. His radio career began with this. He started his career as a disc jockey when he was 17, WPILI in Jackson, and earned $25 a week. After moving to JTJS, my dad, he was hired away from double the salary by Jackson's only other station, WDXI. Next, he hosted more into WHBQ in Memphis, Tennessee, while he was a college student at Memphis State University before graduating from Bachelor's of Science degree in 1957. While at Memphis State, Martindale was a member of Kappa Sigma Fraternity, my dad. Anyways, on the evening of July 10th, 1954, Martindale was showing KHBQ studio with studio friends where he realized with his colleague at 9 p.m. midnight shift, Dewey Phillips. He was getting a large number of reactions of listeners after airing a new song. The song was Elvis Presley's new first record, That's Alright. Wow. Anyways, the song was recorded at Sam Phillips recording studio in the evening of July 5th, 1954. Sam, who had bought the record on July 6th, was in the WHBQ studio. The first air night had Elvis' telephone number. Wow, okay. DJ Dewey Phillips wanted to interview Elvis during his program, so Wink invited to contact Elvis by Grace Presley. Wow, okay. Elvis' mother answered the telephone and said Elvis was so nervous they had gone to a movie theater. Grace and her husband, Burren, brought Elvis to WHBQ, and Dewey interviewed Elvis without his knowing that he was on the air. Martindale reported Elvis admitted that he would have been not unable to talk otherwise. His possession of spoken words song "Deck the Cars" went to number 7, the Billboard 100 charts. Sold over 100 million copies in 1959. In Canada, it reached number 3, but it would peak at number 5 in the UK singles charts in April 1963. One of the first 4 visits to that charts. It was followed by Blackland Farmer. In 1959, he became morning man of KHJ Los Angeles, California. Moved a year later, the morning show at KRLA. And finally KFWB in 1962. He will eventually stay at KGIL AM from 1968 to 1971, KKGO FM, KJQI, and Gene Audrey's KMPC, now known as KSPN AM, from 1971 to 1979, and again from 1983 to 1987. The short-lived Wake and Bill show on KABC from 1989 and KJQI from 1993 to 1994. In 1967, Martindale adds a short virtual documentary film about his home life in the year 1999, produced by Fiscal Ford Corporation, which were, among other things, internet commerce with that. Anyway, television. His first break in television was at WHBQ TV in Memphis as a host of Mars Patrol, science fiction theme, television film, children's television series. My God. And instead of WHBQ, he became the host of teenage TV show Dance Party from 1955 and 1959, where his friend Elvis Presley made an appearance on June 16th, 1956. Following Presley's death in 1977, Martindale aired a nationwide tribute radio special in his honor. Martindale's first game show hosting job was on a television show called What's That Song, where he hosted for NBC, created as Win Martindale, from 1964 to 1965. From 1970 to 1971, he hosted a similar segregation game show called Words and Music. Again on ABC. His first major success came in 1972 when he took an administrative position on this new CBS game show, Gamut. He spent 4 years hosting the original Gamut and later hosting a Las Vegas-based revival for 13 months from 1980 to 1981. The news role in which Martindale is widely known as is on Tic-Tac-Toe, more like it. Anyway, Tic-Tac-Toe. But anyway, it was tapped by Barry Albright Productions to host the revived series in 1988 and stay until 1985. Wow. Considered open to one of the most popular game shows in the day. So Martindale died one day after the revival of Tic-Tac-Toe premiere on Game Show Network, which occurred on April 14th, 2025. While hosting Tic-Tac-Toe, Martindale, along with a few other game show hosts, R. James, Jack Clark, who announced the Wheel of Fortune at the time, and Jim Perry, who made a cameo appearance in the 1980 television movie, The Great American Traffic Jam, in the scene where Clark played golf. Wow. During that time, Martindale decided to branch out of this form of his own production company, Lee Martindale Enterprises, so he can develop and produce his own game shows. Okay? His first tenure was Headline Chasers, a co-production with Merv Griffin, that premiered in 1985. Martindale had left Tic-Tac-Toe to host his own creation. Anyways, the show did not meet any success when it was canceled after its only season in 1986. Anyway, Martindale's next tenure was more successful. It's created and, along with Barry Enright, co-produced the Canadian game show called Bumpers Stumpers with Global Television Network and USA Network, something like that. The series aired on both American and Canadian game television from 1987 to 1990, and in 1986, he launched a partnership with producer Jerry Golan, Martindale Golan Productions. Started off with the game show development contract with CBS. In 1988, Martindale Golan Productions discerned the licensing rights to Parker Brothers, something like that. Developed game shows from the Parker-owned properties such as Boggle. Wow, love Boggle growing up as a kid. But after hosting two short-lived, more produced game shows, Robert High Rollers and the Canadian Last Word, Martindale went back into producing The Great Getaway Game on Travel Channel in 1990. Wow. 2 years after that, the program went off the air. Wow. Martindale teamed up with Bill Hiller and the Family Channel to produce a series of interactive game shows to put the emphasis of home viewers to be able to play along with the home and wins prizes. 4 series were commenced, and Martindale served as the host for all 4. The first to premiere on June 7, 1993 was Treasure Pursuit, a adaptation of popular trivia-based board game. On March 7, 1994, the list-based Shovel Boggle, because I love Boggle growing up. Anyway, another board game adoption premiered, and that was very different than Trivial Pursuit, and with this presented more in the traditional game show style. Two programs, along with Jumbo-based game show, that will play software on June 13th, 1994. Special 14-week run ended that were played more like the interactive games of home viewers that were focused on the block, except for Trivial Pursuit. None of the interactive games were much of a success. Boggle ended on November 18th, 1994, with Jumbo, while Jumbo A Company ended on December 30th, 1994. Trivial Pursuit ended on the same day as Jumbo. Wow. Continued to air reruns, but sometime afterward. Probably be removed with the Family Channel, something like that, scheduled on July 1995. Wow. The year I was born. But anyway, in June 96, Martindale became a host of Lifetime's highest grade quiz show called Depth, which was Depth's brand contestants competed to try to eliminate their depths. Despite this popular cable, Depth was canceled in 98. The reason more males were watching the show that later females come from that era. Network's target audience Mondale did not host another game show for over a decade. Wow. His later career began with this. On June 2nd, 2006, Mondale received a star in Hollywood Walk of Fame. And in 2007, he became a member of the nomination committee of the Hit Parade Hall of Fame. On October 13th, 2007, Mondale was one of the first inductees in the American Television Game Show Hall of Fame, Las Vegas. Mondale was one of the hosts and featured in the 2002 NBC special, Most Outrageous Game Show Moments. Ones with Bob Eubanks, Jim Lang, Ben Stein, Peter Marshall. But was not featured in any of the subsequent episodes or by the network. Wow. Mondale appeared on the various television commercials, including stand the pitchman of the trial website Orbits. Until 2007, he was daily 3-hour show on the syndicated music and live format, which is heard about around 200 radio stations. And in June 2009, Mondale started with syndicated Hit Parade radio format. Format began operating on February 7, 2010, when Mondale was Avenue Drive personality. Syndicated stopped operating on June 6, 2010, and in 2008, he appeared on game show GSN Live. It's still a program during the afternoon block, classic game show reruns. Several times during 2008, Mondale filled in as Fred Rogers on GSN Live. While Rogers is on vacation. Mondale's last program was GSN, a original series Instant Recall, which premiered on March 4, 2010. Instant Recall was the first show Mondale hosted for In Depth after airing lifetime from 96 to 98. In 2012, Mondale returned to radio, something like that. It's been good. As host of 100 greatest Christmas hits of all time. Something like that. Nationally syndicated show is produced by Everton Radio Networks. In 2014, Mondale made guest appearance on Eric Andre's show. Wow. Appearance having to go to the show. He did interviews addressing the motion capture suits, like that. At one point, B rather reported Mocabbin dancing, sang a song teaching kids their Jamaican ABCs, promoting a drinkable mouthwash called Sukop, pronounced Sulap. Wow, okay, makes sense. Anyway, in 2014, Mondale began a YouTube channel featuring episodes of game shows, game show pilots, where clips from the various game shows, and other game show related content. He continued to maintain the channel called Wings Vault, with episode B128 Mondale hosted game show The Depth, being published in less than 2 hours before his death. Wow. He made a special guest appearance on December 2nd, 2014 episode of GSN show The Chase, hosted by Brooke Burns and featuring Mark Ramett. In 2016, October, Mondale appeared on the daytime soap opera The Bold and the Beautiful as a minister. On April 21st, 2017, Mondale appeared on the KFC advertising campaign featuring Rob Raw and his astronaut Colonel Sanders making a JFK speech spoof and giving a homage. The ad was about watching the singer Chicken sandwich into space. On April 4th, 2018, Mondale was a surprise co-host via phone for Sirius XM National Hockey League Network Radio's Free Question segment, with a celebrity co-host who creates questions and then quizzes the show's broadcast crew. On January 28, 2021, Mondale claimed on his Facebook page he had won the pilots of the ABC version of Deal or No Deal. Wow. We'll upload them when his YouTube channel has hit 18,000 subscribers. Wow. When he goes on July 19, 2021, the pilots uploaded on his channel. On June 16, 2021, June 6, 2021, something like that, Mondale began his helping the internationally syndicated The History of Rock and Roll, a 2-hour weekend look at the back end of his music in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. The production is created by a team of composer Mondale, producer and engineer Peter Gay Gold, the Internet Interval Group, writer and producer Gary Vorax. Fox on that. Who wrote and produced the 1952-hour marathon version of History of Rock and Roll for Drake Combat. New Ritchie produced series combines songs, fun facts about the music and the artists, and artist interviews, sound bites. Personal life and death. He married Marilyn Leach in 1954 and had 4 children. Dakota divorced in 1972. He later married his second wife, Sandy Fura, on August 2nd, 1975. He had a few dogs named after the various game show he hosted. Wow. Brian Daly verified the board game Christian when he was one guest on the TBN flagship program he plays award, which, okay. He adored several coordinated personality policies from that. His wife Sandy previously dated Elvis Presley. Wow. Both he and Sandy were friends with Presley. Wow. They appeared on several Elvis radio. Wow. And shared stories about Presley. He died with pneumonia in the hospital at Rancho Mirage, California. On April 15th, 2025, he was 91 years old. The next step topic has to do with Mike Gayen, born Maverick Dickinson Gayen. He was an American rock and country singer, songwriter, musician, record producer. He was also president of Wild Child Records, formed in 2004. He was born in Nashville, Tennessee on June 5th, 1941. He played with Charlie McCoy in the efforts, and that was when that group started playing many sessions in Nashville. In the late 60s, he helped establish 2 critically acclaimed bands. These were Area Code 615, sound with Parador, something like that, and pronounce it, sorry, and Barefoot Jerry, sound with Capitol Records, which Gayen wrote the songs, played guitar and sang. Gayen left Barefoot Jerry in 1971, which recorded his first solo album with Bob Johnson. Wow. We have worked on Bob Dylan's Blonde album. On Johnson's, and that Johnson has produced the solo album with Gayen, something like that. Maverick Gayen's EMI. Gayen formed his own band, Sidebook in 1972. It's, something like that, anyway. I know, but anyway, where are we? Okay, where are we? Okay, never mind. Jane versus Ball Band, okay. Skyboat, okay, that's fine, never mind. Skyboat 1972 recorded 2 albums for the ABC records, something like that. Anyway, he also served as a producer by Donnie Davis, something like that. Anyway, Baby, and one of Steve Young, So Satisfy You. Gayen recorded session guitar player with J.J. Gale, something like that. John Hay, Bob Dylan, Ronstadt, Simon Garfunkel, Chris oh man, I'm mispronouncing names well, but Chris Thomas from that, pronounce his last name, sorry, anyway. Steve Young, Rita Coolidge, something like that. Now, I saw her name wrong, last name wrong, but anyway, sorry, anyway. Joe Simon, something like that. Valentine's, Elvis Presley, Ian Somia, pronounce it, sorry. Jerry Jeff Walker, London Ray White, Connie Francis, The Alarm, Pearls Before Swine, Ari Joe Hunter, Robert Knight, Everlasting Blog, Clifford Curry, She Shot a Hole in My Soul, Bobby Billy and more, and Bobby Billy among others. Anyway, Can record a lot with Billy Sorrell, who produced many hits. Anyways, moving on. Next, when he was 5, he was started to compose a song with his grandmother's piano, Everlasting Love. When Larry he had heard Walrus Knight's voice while he was performing the Ferry House at very bit next to the one night bands we was playing in. Something like that. He ran over, introduced himself, and told Knight he was sorry for him. Gaye got together with Knight and began pulling his pieces of the song. He bought his friend Buzz Kayen. He and Kayen produced Everlasting Love. It was Robert Wright Knight's first hit, followed by another song Gaye wrote, Rainbow Valley. With Gaye, it was introduced to Clifford Curry, who presented another song he wrote, She Shot a Hole in My Soul. That started Curry's career with a hit. Gaye produced Valentine's on the song Gotta Get Yourself Together. Okay? All these songs were included in the Grammy-winning album produced by the Country Music Hall of Fame, Night Train to Nashville. Wow. Gaye recorded one of the albums, EMI McGaverick, Gaye, two of ABC's records, Skyboat, and him and the Seekers, some of that. The later he recorded in Miami, some of that, with Fleetwood Mac, recording some of that. Rumors. In one studio, the Eagles doing Hotel California, the other. Randy McMaster with the Eagles sang backgrounds of Kayen with some songs like that. Anyway, one album when Harvest normally at Booze was then followed by one album records come along in 2020. He was inducted in the Country Music Hall of Fame, National Cast in 2014, with Seminary in the Country Music Hall of Fame. He was also inducted in the David Dylan Clash and exhibit for over 6 years and played many concerts for the exhibit 2014. His guitar Wah Wah Pale was an exhibit in the Hall of Fame. He was involved in the slide wah technique on the JJ KO song or something anyway, called Crazy Mama. Anyway. Kaysen also posted an autobiography entitled The Missing String Theory, a musician's college spiral journey. Now, Kayen's biggest hit of the writer is considered to be a song, Everlasting Love, which he co-wrote with Buzz Kayen, recorded originally by Robert Knight. A top 20 hit, the Billboard Hot 100 in 1967. Became a number one hit in the United Kingdom when covered by Love Affair in 1968 of January. Wow. Also in that 1968, covered by an Australian group called Tom Squires reached number 2 in the Australian charts. Cold Charlie's popular soul version was the number 6 hit in the US in 1974. It was long over 5 million plays according to BMI. Many artists have recorded this song, and including German singer Sandra, who have been hits with Germany and all across Europe in 1987. Gloria Stefan, some of that, who reached the top of the Billboard's Hot Dance Club Party charts in the same year I was born in 95. Anyway, U2 recorded the song with the B-side All I Want Is You. Jamie Cullum had a hit with the song in 2009. It was used in the films Bridget Jones' Hedge of Reason. Two verses were used, America's Sweethearts, Forts of Nature, and Veronica's Gorins with that. He wrote another hit entitled She Shot a Hole in My Soul, recorded by Clifford Curry. Also covered by the Black Tops. Clayton also wrote songs with several black singing groups. Robert Knight, see above, which I read before, Valentine's, and Clifford Curry. He also performed with Bob Dylan, Lisa Rodsigns, the Stone Ponies, and John Hyde, something like that. Anyway, moving on. Next, Martin Wainwright, Joe Simon, Joe Hunter, Margie Hendricks, Chris Charlian, pronounce his last name, sorry, Craig and Donnie Allman, Steve Young, Jerry Jeff Walker, Ian Sawyer, Elvis Presley, high accent, something like that. Leonard, something like that, Cohen, and Simon Garfunkel, among others. Craig also wrote country hits with Bobby Blair and Porter Wagoner, something like that. Yeah. His guitar work says here on my desk, okay? He also was a session guitarist and is renowned for this innovative wah-wah slide guitar technique. Showcases early 1970s J.J. Cole hit Crazy Baba. He also wrote a number of successful songs including Hey Rod, which is a major Australian hit for Flying Circus. Lala was a bigger hit. He also co-wrote and co-produced Robert Knight's Love on the Mountaintop. Simon Cowell recorded Gaines' Love on the Mountaintop with Senya on Top 20 in 1989. Kagan played the Bob Dylan's album Blonde and Blonde. Dylan producer Bob Johnson asked to produce an album for him. The album that got Kagan was released by ABI Records. Producing. He was later producing groups, one of which he was his daughter, Alien Gayen, and performing viral in other festivals with her. The other group was working with a group called Sweetwater Rose. He put together and produced and performed with. In 2020, Gayen will release a new album come along with on Array Records. It was recorded a family luxury album about the times in his last 5 years. Gayen tried to help young artists producing music with them. Some of that. And helping them write. These include Alexis Saxty, Olivia Jones, and Billy Heyman. He died in Nashville, Tennessee due to Parkinson's disease on April 16, 2025. He was 83 years old. These are his albums so far. 4 of them. Wow. R&B, pop, folks, and roots. That's where he was since the 60s until his death. My next topic has with Norrin Isabel Yum. But it was known as Norrin Yum. He was a Canadian. She was a Canadian producer, puppeteer, and puppet builder. Born in May 10th, 1949. She grew up in Old Iowa, South Ontario, with 2 younger brothers, John and Stephen Barthwaite. She then studied drum and paid in the Ontario College of Art and Design of Toronto, Canada. Wow, okay. Reading whatever she could, she learned how to build her own puppets. She became known for puppet cast and liquid laxatives so she could explode them. Faces she could move and wiggle in the mouth so she could open and close. Young began a lifelong career in television puppetry, CJOH, CTV, and CBOT, CBC in Iowa. Known for Ideally Day from 1969 to 1976. A show there's about a female mayor named Juru Deal, something like that, in a small town called Crabgrass. In Pennsylvania from 1977 until 1979, the former received the Iowa State Award and later received Actress Best Children's Programming Award in 1978. She was best known for building puppets and shows including Today's Special and Toa Frankus, something like that. She became an independent television producer with Norrin Yum Productions Incorporated. Which with CBC and Telefilm Canada, produced under the Umbrella Tree, a popular CBC television children's series that ran from 1987 to 1993 on CBC nationally and from 1990 to 1997 on the Disney Channel. It was also dubbed in French from Carmel Family. It currently streams on the Canada Mail Funds Intercard Plus and YouTube in both languages, like English and French. For that show, she was executive producer and performed the character Goya the Gopher. Young was also the puppeteer for Dolly, a character on Sesame Park, the Canadian version of Sesame Street. Wow. A puppet character appear on the main TV Ontario production including Ray Leolaw and Taylor Francis. She was a feature in the second Care Bears television special, 1984, The Care Bears Battle for the Freeze Machine. Okay? Young was known for caricature puppets and puppet figures, such as the former Governor General Henry Carson. Okay, makes sense anyway. Next, I thought it was a he, but it was a she. Now I'm on. No, not a he, but it was a she. But now I'm on, I'll shut up. But anyway, more on. Next, anyway, General, no, it's a he. Now I'm on. Henry Carson, CBC News anchor, Peter Manbridge, something like that, and hockey commander Don Cherry. Okay? Prosmay Margaret, personalities for Hometown. Okay, that's her, never mind. Homage, Ontario, something like that. But anyway. In 2018, okay, Young's puppets were featured in the exhibit, Young, a Puppet Perspective, in the Mississippi Valley Textile Museum in Maya, something like that. The 150 puppets were a collection that was exhibit span for a career from 1967 to 2018. The exhibit based on the Beagle, for High Dewey Day from 1967 to 1976, and time puppets which she created for the adult opera. Sleeping Roth was written by composer Ronnie Ellis and performed at the Iowa Music Festival. Music Beyond from 2018. Mayor Puppets now reside in the National Museum and History of the Library of Archives in Canada. She died of a stroke in April 2025. Her death was announced on April 20th. She was 85 years old. In 1995, Nora was invested in the member of Oil Canada for having habitually used puppetry to educate children of such critical issues and safety, norm, and virtual awareness of additions. Before I move on to the next last step topic, I have to say something else, okay? One more thing. I have to pause it right there. Be right back. I'm back, folks. Sorry about that. I had to take care of some business, so, okay. My next one, I'm have to say this personally. So I grew up with leapfrog, and this is personal for me in my childhood, okay? It has to do with leapfrog, and that is tragic for me to talk about, okay? Leapfrog Enterprises Incorporated is an educational, entertainment, and electronic company based on Emeryville, California. Leapfrog designs, develop, and market technology based on learning products and related content for educational children from infancy to through grade school. The company was founded by Michael Wood and Robert Lally in 1994. Robert Lally was the chief CEO of Leapfrog. Now, sadly, we have some sad news to talk about in the Leapfrog business. And that has to do with the founding member of Leapfrog. Sadly, Wood died of a combination of Alzheimer's disease. He was 72 years old. Now, Wood would have, if it would have been him, it would have been made me become part of my childhood today. So I will miss his deeply missing about my childhood. So there you go. I haven't seen Leapfrog in forever, so I'll miss him. Rest in peace. And my last step topic has to do with Pope Francis. Now, I'll talk about this right now, personally, okay? Born George Mario Bargarel. Now, before I say anything, I talked about this earlier this year on bedtime stories earlier, and this is the results, okay? I've been disturbed when, in 2013, I was not aware about that. He was thrown in the, as Pope, but don't care. But anyway, let's just talk about it anyway. He was a head of the Mormon Conference Church in Soviet, Vatican City stayed from March 13th, 2013 until his death in 2025. He was the first Pope in the Society of Jesus, the Jesus, or the first in the Americas and the Southern Hemisphere, and the first born and raised outside of Europe since the 8th century Serbian Pope Gregory III. Born in Buenos Aires, Argentina on, says, December 17th, 1946. Anyway, he was inspired to join the Jesuits in 1958 after recovering from a serious illness. He was ordained a Catholic priest in 1969, something like that. From 1973 to 1979, he was a Jewish subversive, something like that, in Argentina. He became an Archbishop of Buenos Aires in 1998 and was created cardinal in 2001 by the late Paul John Paul II. Let me see if that's correct. Let me see. Yeah, I was right. Yeah. Anyway, following the resignation of the late Pope Benedict the 16th on February 28th, 2014, Papal Conclave elected Barbaro as his successor on March 13th. He chose Francis as his papal name in honor of Saint Francis of Assisi. Throughout his public life, Francis is known for his humanity, Francis of God's mercy, and mission as Pope. Concerned with the poor and committed as to organize dialogue. He was known for having a less formal and partial to the papacy from that is his predecessors by, for instance, chosen to reside in the dominant from that. Anyway, I can't pronounce it. Sorry. Lastly's Marshy, some of the house of Saint Marcia, some pronounce it. Sorry. Guest house rather than the papal apartments and obligatory palace used by previous popes. Anyways, Francis made women full members of diocese in the Roman Curia. He maintained that the Catholic Church should be compassionate towards members of the LGBTQ community, and said that although blessings of same-sex unions are not permitted, the individual can be blessed as long as the blessings are not given in a sexual context. Francis was a critic of applied coalition and overdevelopment. Wow. He made an action of climate change when he focused on poverty, one from that. He was widely derided in denouncing the death penalty of rise of evil, staying the Catholic Church and commanded its abolition. In national democracy, Francis criticized the rise of the right-wing coalition, called the discrimination of homosexuality. Wow. Called to restore the full diplomatic relations between the United States and Cuba. Wow. Knowing the deal with the Pope's People's Republic of China, defend how much influence the virtual party will have in poison Chinese bishops, supported the chase of refugees. He called the population of migrants of duties citizenship criminalizations, criticized anti-immigration politics, including those of U.S. President Donald Trump. In 2022, he apologized to the church roles in the crucial suicide of the Canadians immunization peoples. Francis commended the side of solidarity, which was described as collaborations with the policy of the most important event in the Catholic Church since the Second Vatican Council. He died the early morning of April 21st, 2025, on Easter Monday. He was 88 years old. In the weeks before his death, he had making fewer public appearances to be treated of drug lung disease and respiratory crisis and pneumonia. He made last public appearance was the day before on Easter Sunday. I'm not reading everything because I will have to talk about that. But anyway, let's do a moment of silence regards to not 1, not 2, but 8 dead topics right now. We're going to do 7, but let's do 8 right now. Thank you. Rest in peace to these 8 people. Now, let's move on to the next topic I'm going to read you. Is late Easter Sunday. I was going to air this on yesterday, but I decided to do it today. But, and also known as Papasha from that. Or Restoration Sunday. It's a Christian festival and commercial holiday, commemoration of the resurrection of Jesus from the dead. Describing the New Testament, having it occurs at the third day of its burial, following the creation of Romans and clarity of c. 40 AD, something like that. Is a correlation of the passing of Jesus, question of Lent, or Great Lent, something like that. A 40-day period of fasting, prayer, penance, something like that. Easter mentioned Christians. Something like that. Anyway, College prefer the last week of Lent before Easter as Holy Week, something like that, which is Western Christianity begins on Palm Sunday. Bargain the interest of Jesus, Jerusalem, something like that. It goes Palm Wednesday, which is the betrayal of Jesus is marred, something like that. It contains the days of Easter, Triduum, including Monday, Thursday. Okay, mention the Monday and Last Supper, wow. As well as Good Friday, commemorating the crucifixion and death of Jesus, wow. In Eastern Christianity, the same events are commemoration with the name of days of starting with Holy or Holy and Great, something like that. And Easter itself might be called the Great and Holy Messiah. Both Western and Eastern Christianity, Easter's tide and Easter or Paschal season begins on Easter Sunday, the last 7 weeks. Wow. And with becoming the 50th day, Paschal Sunday, but in Eastern Christianity, believe taxing the feast of the 39th day, the day before the feast of Congregations. From that sorry. Anyway, Eastern is Israeli holidays, multiple feasts. Not following a fixed date. Its date is based on the Western calendar. Solar plus moon based, similar to a Hebrew calendar, could generate a number of controversies. The first council of Nicaea, 325, established a common partial honored by all Christians the first Sunday after the first full moon or after the first August, when that. It was calculated on the basis of Georgian calendar. The day of the full moon sometimes differs from that of the eventual full moon after the March equinox, when that. The English term may desire the Anglo-Saxons goddess named Osiris, something like that. Easter is linked to the Jewish Passover by its name. Hebrew, something like that. Passover, anyway, automatic as Pasha, and the basics of the terms Pasha, okay? By its origin, according to the Semitic Gospels, on the both the crucifixion, something like that, and the restoration, something like that, took place during the week of Passover, okay? By much of the salvation, as well as the population of the calendar, and much more so in European languages, both the Christian Easter and the Jewish Passover are called by the same name, or English translations by the Bible as well as the term Easter would be used to translate Passover, something like that. Easter traditions vary across the Christian world. Wow. It includes sunrise services or late night vigils, something like that. Coordinations, exchanges of epistles, greetings, like that. Following the cross and the wearing of Easter bundles by women. Cribbing of church and the decoration of cardinals, breaking of Easter eggs. A symbol of empty tomb. The Easter lily, the symbol of restoration of Western Christianity. Traditionally decorates the channel area of churches on the day of the west of Easter time. In addition to viewing the Passion plays during Lent and Easter, many television channels airs films related to the restoration, such as The Passion of Christ, which there's another film came out about Passion of Christ, came out in theaters this year. Anyway, Greatest Story Ever Told, and the Jesus film. But anyway, in the traditional customs that have become associated with Easter, and the worshipped by both Christians and some non-Christians, include Easter parades. Wow. Commercial dancing in Eastern Europe, the Easter bunny egg hunting, which I do, but I do it again, by the way. And there's also traditional Easter foods, which I eat, by the way. They vary by region and culture. Anyway, that's all the topic about Easter. Now let's move on to the last topic of the day. And that is, of course, 420 cannabis culture. Now, I have said this, and we were going to talk about this yesterday, but it didn't happen. So let's read it now. And we'll talk about, we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about International Birthday, April 20th, and the rest, but nah. We'll talk about 420 and the origins. That's it, and then that'll be a wrap of the show. But yeah, 420, boy, no, it's 420 p.m. or a.m., something like that. Yeah, or 420 is the date. But now it's 420. It's cannabis culture slang for cannabis cultivation, especially smoking around the time 4:20 p.m., 16:20 if you're living in a couple of countries. It also refers to cannabis ordination celebration that take place annually April 20th in the United States Day for forms, something like that. 5 high school students in San Rafael, California, coined the term that part of their 1971 search of the amateur cannabis crop, based on the treasure map made by the grower, calling themselves the wall rolls, something like that. Because their topical hangout spot was a wall outside the school, the 5 students, Steve Capper, Dave Reddix, Jerry Knoll, Mary Swartz, and Marge Gorlick designed their Royalist Basher statue. Wow. That was exciting. But anyway, on the grounds of the St. Rachel High School, the meeting place at 4:20 p.m. is the meeting date time. And the walls refer to the plan and praise 420 P. Lewis, something like that. Anyway, and several failed attempts to find the crops and that. The group eventually shortened the phrase to 420, which eventually evolved into the Cold War. The teens used the reverse of commercial cannabis. Stephen Hager at the High Times prepared the story with Wallows. The first High Times mentioned the 420 smoking and the 420 holiday appeared on May 1991. Eventually, administrated the origins of the term in the police code. Wow. This and other inspires origin stories began common. The connection with the Wallows appeared in December 1998. Hager administered the early spread of the praise and Grateful Dead followers. After Wallow Reddix became a role in the Grateful Dead bases, Bill Wedge also called for 4:20 p.m. be socially accepted time of the day of the consumed cannabis. Another some rifle group claims to have originated the term before the Wallows. Wow, that's exciting. And with that, that's all for the topics for the day. And that wraps up the Crazy Bunch Web Show episode number 102. Hope you enjoy it. Stan's gonna be another episode of Crazy Bunch Web Show, episode 103. I'm not sure it's gonna be as of yet, but we'll see what happens. Till next time, this is Jonas Bunch, baby. More Crazy Bunch Web Show episodes. We're gonna be soon. Say out. See ya.